Hi and welcome to this reading. Today's reading is going to be a reading for the collective, so we're going to see what messages come through, what you need to know right now, any advice for this current period of time. So I'm going to start by getting an overall energy with this deck. This deck is actually a game. It's called Dixit, but it is really amazing. It's got really, really amazing images, and we'll take this to be your overall energy. So let me just shuffle real quick. Okay, what is the overall energy for the collective? 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 What's the overall energy for the collective? Okay, quite a few cards there. Okay, the bottom of the deck is this card. So I'm just going to lay out all the cards. Okay. What I'm seeing as the main overall energy is that right now the viewer or you are feeling very fragmented. But I see here with this image looking into the mirror, or kind of what the future is, what the possibility is this really beautiful, mended and whole vase. So for me this is saying that even if you feel kind of fragmented and broken and maybe not your complete self right now, sort of all over the place, if you look forth into the future, there is this possibility of finding this wholeness again. It's kind of with the lizard here, it kind of makes me think also how, how a lizard can lose its tail when it gets frightened or when it gets hurt. It actually loses its tail, and that tail of the lizard eventually starts to grow back, very, very slowly, but it does grow back, and the lizard becomes its complete self again. So I think that any situations that have made you feel fragmented or broken or hurt or not your complete self, there's the possibility that all of these things will be mended and whole once again. Just like the lizard can rejuvenate itself, so too can you. So this is kind of like the overall energy that I'm seeing. If we look at the other cards that wanted to come out, there is, first of all, this one. So this card to me says a lot about kind of this rabbit race sort of mentality that exists a lot in society these days, this constant going after the next best thing, kind of blindly going forth. racing ahead. You see how he's pointing forward, and look at how they're all dressed like in these business suits. It's kind of very like rabbit race mentality. And look how it's kind of interesting how the rabbit's eyes are red, almost like they're robots, and they're being made to go forward in a certain way. So I think that's very interesting, because maybe that could be the reason that you're feeling sort of fragmented and out of sorts, is that situations to do with business, with career, with just being an individual in society, you're actually feeling like you're being made to power ahead when maybe it's not the best thing for you. But you know, the man is telling you, go forth, go do this, go be, you know, go do. So I don't know, this card is kind of telling me that in terms of maybe a career perspective, there's this constant need to like be better, to go forth, to be faster, to, you know, chase after the I guess the gold. These are golden rabbits that you carrots that you see here in this picture. So it's really interesting. Also with the beehive that's come out in this card, this is kind of giving me as well this idea of like this busyness and kind of always, like, you know how bees are constantly, they're that creature that just is always on the go, and they're building, but you know what bees make, they spend all this time making their honey, but it's kind of this beautiful gold mine at the end, I guess. It's abundant. So even if you are feeling in this kind of energy right now of not really like, you know, feeling just like one of the machine cogs, you know, the bees are here to tell you that working together with other people, and even if it does feel busy and kind of chaotic at times, what you are building for yourself and also for others in society is this beautiful golden beehive. We also see here pictures of little babies. So to me that's kind of like this idea of growth and fertility and abundance. So I think this card coming out kind of says that even though the path is chaotic for you right now, even though you're feeling very broken and fragmented in this whole rabbit race, this rat race of society, what you are building for yourself and for others around you, even for your family maybe, is this really beautiful abundant, this beautiful abundance basically. I see here with this card, to me this is making me think of dreams. It's at night time and there's this kind of almost like an illusion of a fish that's like floating through the buildings, and you can see like all the lights are on. Well, I guess that's the glow, but the lights are off in the houses. So to me it makes me think of dreams. So there might be a lot of really important messages coming through to you in your dreams lately. It's interesting that this color is very yellow as well. Yellow is to do with the sacral chakra, to do with like doing and making actions towards things. But then all the roofs are like this green color, and the green is to do with the heart chakra, and the heart chakra is all about your emotions and your feelings. So you might be kind of caught between this idea of wanting to, like, you know, further yourself in the world, wanting to create this abundance, but maybe feeling your emotional side is feeling this very, very fragmented, kind of worn out and drained by all of these expectations that are on you right now. I do think though that some of these fears, some of these worries that you might be having are maybe coming out in your dreams. So pay attention to those. Dreams are sometimes the place where our fears live. So that's why sometimes we have dreams that kind of come across as nightmares, is because it's like things that aren't necessarily going to happen to us, but they're things that we worry about, and they kind of show up in our dreams in very distorted and strange ways. So I would suggest kind of writing those down just to kind of get them out. Like if you have a weird dream like that and you wake up in the morning and you remember it, then just write it down, and the next day just kind of writing it down just helps you get it out of your head, and I think helps you process it a little bit more so that it doesn't sit in your subconscious. With this card here, I'm seeing in this card kind of this like self-protection mode that you've maybe had to be in for a long time. That's the fact that she has these arrows kind of makes me think of that. But if you look at her face, she's she's feeling very stable in it. So I think this is an energy that you're maybe going to be coming into. It's this energy of being this like whole and completed self, feeling, you know, like your happy self again. Is that you might still have to protect yourself and have boundaries and kind of keep your guard up a little bit in terms of situations, but you will be a lot happier in yourself because having gone through those tough kind of situations, you have grown almost like, I know this kind of makes me think of a mermaid, but it also makes me think of armor, the way that the shape of these scales are. It makes me think of armor. So I think that you've almost like grown, all these situations that you've kind of been going through are making you a stronger person. It's kind of developing this armor on you that you are going to be this kind of contented, strong, really strong person that's able to deal with whatever situations come your way. So yeah, I think that's really, really beautiful. And then we have here this card, which kind of gives this idea of, to me this makes me think of perspective. There's two ways of looking at situations. You can either look at a situation as being something that depletes you, that kind of breaks you, makes you feel fragmented, or you can look at the situation as being an experience that you have to go through in order to like see the light and to feel more peace and calm amongst yourself. So it's kind of this like dichotomy of different ways of seeing things. And even if you look at this card a little bit closer, this is like this indoor area, but you can see these trees growing. So even in like a sort of darker, more a darker kind of energy, within experiencing that time in your life, there's these beautiful trees that are growing, and there's still roses and flowers that are existing there. And I kind of think that just means like through these experiences, little seeds are growing within you that are making you a lot stronger. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I get from that card. And then with this card, I see here that this idea of like knowledge and wisdom, but it's all wisdom and knowledge that has come from the universe. And you can see how this person is like, they have their wand and they're kind of like tapping into it. And I think everything that you're learning in your dreams, in your daily experiences, they're all kind of tapping you into this wisdom of how to obtain that abundant feeling, of how to feel whole again in yourself. So the universe is supporting you. This is kind of that card to me that says you are connected to the universe and to spirit, and you are getting that knowledge. And the clock is kind of, that's interesting, the clock is in a cage here, which means that, like, don't focus too much on the time that it's taking for you to get closer to feeling whole. Don't focus on that, because time is like irrelevant. Time is, you know, the more that you want something to work in your time, the less likely it's going to happen. So don't focus too much on how long you're taking to get to be your full and completed self. Focus more on the fact that this is a journey, and everything that is happening to you is playing out in the divine time, in the time that the universe and spirit has laid it out for it to happen in your life. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm getting from these cards. Now I'm going to get some tarot out and see what other messages come forth. Okay, what else does the collective need to know about this situation? What else does the collective need to know? 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 Whoa, okay. A lot of messages. Okay, so bottom of the deck we have the Page of Wands. So I'm just going to lay them out and then we'll talk a bit more about them. Okay, so we also have the Two of Cups. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Devil. We have the Ten of Wands. Oh no, wait. Yeah, we have the Ten of Wands. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, the Nine of Cups. Sorry, Nine of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. No, sorry, I'm getting confused. I always get confused with this deck. Sorry, this is the, it's not cups, it's pentacles. So this is the Nine of Pentacles, and this is the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the Fool as well. Alright. Okay, so with the Devil coming out over here, I can see that usually the Devil speaks of addictions, it speaks of kind of addictive behavior. It speaks of playing into tendencies that are not good for you. And I can see here with, you know, a lot of it's about money, it's about drinking, it's about smoking, it's about kind of driving fast and not caring about anything, to kind of just doing what you want. And I think this is coming out maybe because this is like a pressure that society in general places on us, is to kind of go down these routes, you know, sometimes you know, have like being the richest person and just spending your cash on whatever, and just being reckless and wild and indulging in a lot of different things. So I think this is kind of just speaking of like, don't kind of fall into these temptations that are not going to be good for you. And I think you know what is good for you and what is not, because we do have here the Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, which are both really, really good cards, because this is saying that there's a lot of really positive opportunities, and there's the possibility of being very comfortable with everything you have, being abundant. This is a card of abundance, and this is a card of like opportunities that are possible for you. So I think that just keep that in mind, that there's a lot of positivity in the energy all around you, and don't like fall into this kind of devil behavior, even if it does seem tempting. I also see here with the Nine of Wands is that, no, sorry, the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands speaks about going through a really big struggle, and just kind of feeling totally frustrated, totally overworked. You can see how it's 10 o'clock at night, the lights are off, she still has a lot of things that she needs to do, and she's just completely frustrated. So this kind of, I think, is played into why you are feeling so depleted and sort of not yourself, is because of all of these pressures that have been placed on you. You can see here as well that her phone is kind of like ringing off the hook, and she just like doesn't even want to deal with it because there's just too much going on around her. And I think, yeah, that's kind of like what you've been experiencing. We have here as well with the Eight of Swords, feeling kind of very, the Eight of Swords kind of speaks of being very caged in, not seeing a way out of the situation. So you might have felt that. You might have felt that you just don't know how to get into this situation where you are feeling whole again. You might feel very frustrated. So this is telling me that, yeah, this is kind of like how you've been feeling, which is really, I know this is very frustrating energy to be in, but some of the other cards here are telling me that there's lots of really, really great energies coming towards you right now. The Fool speaks about fresh starts. It speaks about making a change. You can see how he is ready to, he's got this very big smile on his face. He's optimistic, he's happy, he's looking at the brighter side of life. He's maybe leaving behind something that wasn't really working for him, and he's taking this opportunity to start fresh. So I see though that these kind of frustrating situations that you've been dealing with, maybe feeling overworked, maybe feeling like not your best self, feeling frustrated and caged in, is that the possibilities of making a change in your life are really there for you, so that you can get to this wholeness, to feeling whole again. So if you have right now any opportunities to make any changes in your life, then this card kind of indicates to me that it could be a good time to make a fresh start, and kind of get a whole different perspective on your life. Because with the Ace of Pentacles coming out, it means that you're always going to be supported by the universe, because the universe in the traditional Ace of Pentacles card, it's basically the spirit is kind of holding out this big pentacle, offering it to you. So I think that look out for opportunities that are popping up that will maybe enable you to have this fresh start that I think you feel like you need it, which by judging by the cards I think that's quite evident. With the Seven of Wands and also this Three of Wands, Seven of Wands speaks about kind of battling for what you believe in. So like kind of, especially how it's presented in this card, is kind of fighting for what you believe is right for you. And Three of Wands is usually about waiting on something, but kind of wanting to make that movement towards it. And in this, they're like kind of walking up this hill, and you can see they've reached the summit. So that kind of talks to me about maybe this struggle that you've been kind of going. You've been fighting for, or wanting to at least fight for all the things that you dream about in your life, for creating a sort of happier, more whole situation in your life where you can feel abundant. Is you have been kind of already moving towards this summit where, you know, you will reach the top of that mountain, you will find that in your life. So that's really, I think, a positive message for you, is that the possibilities are endless in terms of reaching that happiness that you've been searching for. I also see here with the Two of Cups that you have this kind of Two of Cups speaks about balance. It speaks about a partnership as well, where there is a lot of happiness and balance in it, equality, so an equal give and take. It also speaks, this card kind of speaks to me about sharing these struggles that you have been through with those around you, because you will find that you can connect with other people who are feeling exactly the same way that you have been feeling, and find these kind of like-minded individuals. And kind of often when we talk about things that we've gone through with people who are going through that same situation, is that it's really nice to hear a different perspective on it. It just helps to get the words out. And this card is blue, which kind of makes me think of throat chakra, which is all about speaking about things, that finding your voice about something. So I think it could really help you to speak with other people around you that you see are maybe going through the same situation. Okay, sorry about that, my camera died. Alright, so what I'm seeing here with the Page of Wands is, funnily enough, we have the repeat of the lizard. There is a lizard and there is a lizard, and you see how this person is very carefree, just kind of going forth. He has some friends here that are a little bit worried about him, but he's jumping forth, following his kind of intuitive hits, his intuition, and he's got a torch shining, so he knows the way forward. And yeah, I think that lizard there is a reminder that the path towards wholeness and towards feeling like your total happy self it might involve you having to, you know, kind of go off into the darkness kind of, just like the fool does, jumps into the adventure without knowing the direction, but does it like this Page of Wands with kind of all of their passion, and goes forth knowing that he looks like he's just going off to have a big adventure in the dark. So yeah, I think this kind of is a really nice energy for you, because it's sort of encouraging you to take this leap of faith towards what you feel is going to make you feel happy again, kind of leaving behind all of these more harder energies. Okay, so let's get some advice for you using some oracle decks. So first we'll use this one. What advice is there for the collective? 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 Okay, we'll take that one. And oh, okay, this is interesting. Okay, first let's talk about this one. So here we have full moon in Scorpio, which says with its message, it is time to release negativity. So I think that is completely perfect for this reading, because basically that route towards feeling like your whole self again is releasing all of the negative kind of energies around you, all of the temptations, all of the frustration and overworking and kind of feeling like you are stuck. This card is telling me that you have the power to release this energy, and I don't know if maybe Scorpio is relevant for someone here. Scorpio is actually related to the Death card in Tarot, and the Death card is an energy of transformation, which means that you are kind of coming into this energy of transforming yourself from feeling broken and fragmented into this whole version of yourself. So transformation is here. Just release all of these negative energies. And some other really good news for you is that a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Libra is all about the Justice card in Tarot, which is about balance. So coming into balance, maybe you will be entering a really romantic cycle. With the Two of Cups coming out, it's possible that a relationship is going to come into your life, or that you will find balance in a relationship, maybe that you're currently in. And that will also help you see how you can look at yourself in a whole different perspective, look at your life in a whole different perspective, look at your life from a more balanced point of view. So that will help you see, you know, what needs to change in your life so that you can be the best version. Okay, then let's get one of these cards. What other advice is there for the collective? Advice for the collective. Advice for the collective. Advice for the collective. Advice for the collective. Oh, okay. Well, that was quite a lot of cards. Alright, so bottom of the deck we have Medicine Mother, which is beautiful. Honor your inner knowing. So basically this is telling me as we had earlier, this card, which is like you are connected to the universe, and the universe gives you messages that tell you everything you need to know about your path forward in life. So honor that you already have all of the wisdom that you need to make these changes in your life so that you can be the best version of yourself. So that's really, really, really nice message. We also have Arrow, which says surround yourself with protective energy. This kind of is making me think of that Devil card and of some of the more negative energies that may be surrounding you, kind of situations. Just be protective of yourself. So to do this, you can going out into nature to find more balance is a really good way of stabilizing energies within you and also around you. You can also just do releasing of energy and just let go of anything that is not yours to carry. Recall your energy, and that is a really nice way of protecting yourself as well, and kind of getting into a more balanced mindset about your life. You also have Shapeshifter, which is transform and unveil your gifts. So that's beautiful, because here we have transform, which is all about transformation, as we spoke about here. It says here that you have a lot of gifts that are already present within you, a lot of passions for life and for different activities and interests that you are going to be finding that you can go forth and do these things that you want to do in your life. And we have here in the background this snake, and the snake is an animal that is always shedding its skin. It's always transforming, and every time it sheds the skin, it comes out in a whole new version of itself. And I think that's beautiful for you, because you definitely, that's what you're aiming for. Is this card coming out tells me that it's very possible for you to create this transformation in your life that you're looking for in order to feel as more whole in yourself. You also have the Wise One, which says grow within your current situation. And we did speak about already how having a different perspective on your kind of more challenging situations that you've been through can help you realize that these are actually helping you grow as a person. They are helping you become a stronger, more whole version of yourself. So I think that's really beautiful. And the owl here is telling me all about wisdom. It's basically you already have this wisdom within you. So do a little soul searching about, maybe even journaling, writing things down can really help. Kind of, even if you just write down your stream of consciousness and you close the book and look at it at a different day, it can really help you reflect on kind of how these situations are helping you grow, because you'll see over the days that you reread these pages, you can see how you have changed in your perspective on things over the couple of days that you've written or weeks that you've written. Elder says move beyond ancestral patterns. So ancestral patterns are things that kind of have been handed down to us. They can sometimes be quite negative. It can be things to do with karma, and it's just, this card just speaks about releasing all of those ideas about, for example, a lot of people believe that you have to work to the bone, and that is how you can go forward in life. And that might be an ancestral pattern that needs to be released. Choosing to do things that bring you happiness, that make you feel complete, or maybe a path that none of your ancestors went down because they all felt stuck in that cycle, but you have the power to move beyond these ancestral patterns and to choose transformation, to release any negative energies, and come into your real, whole and completed self. We have here also Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. I love this card. It also speaks, you might have a connection to Egypt. It has the pyramids here, It also has all of the sort of sky here with all the stars shining bright for you. Follow what your soul tells you, follow your intuition. You know the way forward, it is within you. You know what changes you need to make, you know what needs to be released in order for you to feel like a more completed version of yourself. It is all within you, and you should honor that inner knowing, because that will help lead you towards a more fulfilled sense of self. And this card also speaks about having the support of the universe. So no matter how alone you feel in the situation, how broken you feel, or how pained and fragmented you feel in your situation, just remember that you're always supported by the universe on your journey forth, and that's the most powerful support you can ever have. So you're never alone in this. The last card I want to pull is one of these, and that will conclude the reading. Let's see. Alright, sorry, that was again the camera died. Let's quickly try to get this card out before it probably goes again. What message is there for the collective? What message is there for the collective? Okay, we're going to take that. This is really beautiful. We have the hearts coming out, and it did speak here about a new romantic cycle begins. So I think going forth, making decisions from your heart, from how you feel, is going to be the best for you, because that is how you can get to being that whole self. And look how the colors on these two cards match. All of the pink. Okay, we also have the creator. The creator is about digging into all of the creative potential that you have, all of your passions, and really wholeheartedly focusing on those, because that is kind of where the more that you express yourself creatively, whether it be through art or singing or dancing or any sort of creative career or activity, that can really help you get more in tune with the more whole version of yourself, what makes you happy in this life, and what is going to make you feel more complete. We also have the gem. So the gem is a card that speaks of all of the potential that you have within you. You are, this gem is inside you, and look at all these beautiful colors. It goes the same with the creator here. Look, all these colors are matching. It's like this potential is within you, and it's just about tapping into it, following that voice of your soul that we had with this card. We also have here the dead end, and for me this speaks about kind of that past energy, that what situation you were in before, because this actually came out underneath the gem. It came out like that, and the creator was at the top here, so that's how it fell out. And this is telling me this is the past energy that you were in that is making you feel incomplete, fragmented, broken. It is a dead end. There's nothing there anymore for you. It is not the path that is going to satisfy you. There's a lot of black and darkness and kind of this sort of negative energies that you need to release from your life, so that you can discover the gem within you, which is there already. But you can see around the gem how there are all of these sort of kind of a continuation from this card, all of the sort of underworld kind of like little worms and things that are surrounding you. So look beyond those, because within you is this gem, and that you are the creator of your life. You have this power. You are the creator of your life. Follow your heart. Focus on your dreams. Focus on things that make you happy, and all of the potential is here for you to have a really, really beautiful life and to find your whole, complete self. So I can see completely that this is a really, really, really nice reading for you, and I think the way forward is really clear here. So I hope this reading did help you, and that it guides you in your life in these next stages. And thanks so much for joining me here, and I'm sending lots of love and courage and peace and for this new journey that you are embarking on.